Hello and welcome to Talking Golf with Gary. This week, the dynamic Gary will introduce you to all kinds of topics pertinent to this past week of golf. He'll give you some tidbits of information as what's coming up and take you on a tour around the world for all of the golfing highlights. Sit back and enjoy Talking Golf with Gary.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Golf with Gary. I hope everybody had a terrific week out there. Not a lot on the schedule, as you're probably aware by now, but we're going to take a look and see what's going on. Patton Kizzare and Brian Harman won the QB shootout on Sunday, eagling the par 5 17th, closing with a par for a one-stroke victory over Graham McDowell and Emiliano Grillo. Kizzare and Harman shot an 11 under 61 in the better ball final round to finish at 30 under at the Tiburon Golf Club. They opened with a 59 in the first round scramble and had a 66 on Saturday in modified alternate shot. McDowell and Grillo shot 62, making 7 straight birdies on numbers 11 through 17. On the European Tour, Louis Oosthuizen won his 9th European Tour event, the South African Open, hosted by the city of Johannesburg, finishing 6 shots clear of the field. Oosthuizen's victory sees him returning to winning ways since the first time. It's the first time he won since 2016. And Francesco Molinari, the reigning Open and Race to Dubai champion, has been named as the 2018 Hilton European Tour Golfer of the Year, winning this prestigious annual award for the first time. A panel comprising members of the golfing media chose Molinari to be the recipient of the distinguished prize following a magnificent 12 months on the European Tour, which he secured his first Rolex Series title in the BMW PGA Championship, a maiden major victory at the 147th Open Championship, and played a starring role in Europe's Ryder Cup win in France. So congratulations to Francesco Molinari. He had quite a year, almost good as year as Brooks Koepka, who is the PGA champion Tour Player of the Year. All right, we're going to take a break and come back with a very special guest, and I think you're going to enjoy it. And he'll be with us right after this.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com.
Hey, my guest this evening has a great product. It's called My Ball Stamp, and I have one right here, and I reviewed it a couple of weeks ago. His name is Luke Glinski, and he's here. And Luke, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Okay, all right. Okay. So again, my name is Luke Glinski. So I've been doing this now with my wife. So we started together in about July 2009. And the way we started this whole business actually is we started a stamp company. This is a while ago. My uncle in Poland, believe it or not, had literally an office stamp products company. And he asked me if I wanted to sell stamps in the U.S. And I said, well, that sounds kind of fun. I had started that as a side business, and for quite a long time I was making just trying to sell normal office stamps, rubber stamps. And one of my friends asked me, he goes, hey, could I use one of your stamps on my ball? I'm always making a mess with a marker. And I said, absolutely. So I tried it, it didn't work, but that's kind of how the idea got started. And from that, we started looking at different inks, looking at different products, and kind of put it together. And after a while, about a year later, we had our first product. So that's when we launched the first rubber stamp.
Well, it is a terrific product, and I did review it a few weeks ago on the show, and I really do like it. I have one here that I ordered actually for another podcast, but this is the box, the way it comes, and So you have a number of stock logos that you can sell to people, but what's interesting is you can also personalize it. And so tell us, how did you get into that end of it, the personalization and that sort of thing?
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to. So initially, as I said, the most interesting thing for a person was, not just to have a quick stamp. There was a bunch of different products available, even starting from the 70s, but it was more of, hey, how do I put my name on it? How do I put my initials on it? So that's the first questions we had. So after I tried it out, and once we proved the product concept out, and we had the product designed, we used a special technology to make it work. And we put it up on the website. And mind you, that most of the business was still rubber stamps. And pretty much almost overnight, we realized that 99% of all the interest that we've had was really for the golf product. And the real reason for that is it's you can get them professionally printed. That's been around for a long time. But this really is just a convenience factor. So you can have that on you all the time, and it's quite easy just to make an impression, and you don't have to plan ahead. You can just have any ball with you, and that's how people started.
Well, it's interesting that you said, yes, you can get them personalized from different companies and stuff, but the cost is not, for a small time person like myself that wanted to do something. At the time, I was considering maybe doing some kind of event, and I was looking for something to, as a keepsake, and but for me, I'm not making any money off of these podcasts. So, it becomes difficult to go out and justify spending money on personalizing golf balls. But this does it, and it does it so well. As I said when I reviewed it, and we were talking before we went on the air, that I used this, went out on a couple of rounds and played in wet weather. The grass was wet, and boy, it dries instantly, the ink, and the ink is durable. It still looks, I should have brought the golf ball, but it's, the golf bag is in the shed right now. But it really holds up well, and it's one of those projects you look at it and it's so simple, and you say, oh, what is that thing? But boy, it works terrific.
Well, thanks. Yeah, so I mean, one of the main things that actually makes our product work is our inks. So it took us a really long time to develop the inks, and it did help a little because my dad's actually a chemist. So I kind of brought the problem to him and said, this is not so easy. We've tried a bunch of different off-the-shelf inks. They keep rubbing off. They don't stay on. They don't dry. So he tried. We tried a bunch of different chemistries. He started working it, and at this point, we've gotten our inks to be so good that you can literally press, as you said, first of all, in wet weather, but they almost dry instantly, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what makes our product different than some of the guys who have tried to copy us, some other companies. Right. You stamp it, it dries, you can go and play, and it stays on quite well. So that's a big differentiator for us.
And another thing that's fascinating is the size of it and how you get the detail. Can you talk about that a little bit? How, there's quite a lot of detail that you do get on this stamp, and we'll show it right here.
Yeah.
It's a little head, but it's quite a lot of detail that you get.
Yeah, so we actually have two different products that are designed for the custom designs, for the custom stamps, and they're both based off the same kind of technology. So when you're looking at the stamp, it kind of looks like kind of a shiny black, and then you can kind of see the outline of the inverse of the image. So that image that we can actually put onto the stamp is about the same resolution as a kind of a high-end laser printer. So it's quite detailed. And because the ink comes through the inside of the stamp and it doesn't come in it's not put on the outside, you can actually transfer this high resolution right onto the ball. So it's pretty much as good as a high-end laser printer. And just so you know, because we have two different sizes, we have a product that's more designed for somebody who's looking just to do their initials in a simpler picture. But then we have more of a larger product that's designed for people who are doing more corporate, let's just say corporate logos, more formal things where they want to get more, maybe websites, telephone onto the product. And that one really competes quite well against people who print them. So it's a lot cheaper to get one of these stamps. It's only single color versus multicolor printing, but for quite a lot of people, it's sufficient.
And it does identify the ball, but you can't miss it. I mean, happens quite a bit. You're looking for your ball, and we used to mark it with our initials. But what happens if you play with somebody that's got the same initial? Then you got a problem. Now, I also noticed that it's not a. I don't think it's hard to tell. It's not a rubber head on it, if you will. What is the material that it's made out of?
So it's referred to as something called microporous foam. So it's actually a very kind of a dense foam with very, very microscopic holes in it, and that's how the ink transfers from the backside. And then we use a special exposure process, proprietary exposure process, to create the image on the surface. So it's not what you would typically see as a stamp that's kind of an embossed, but it's designed to conform over the ball. So that's why you get a good image every single time.
Now, when you came up with this idea, did you have to check with the USGA at all to make sure, is there anything that has to conform with the rules of golf? I don't believe there should be, but did you have to do any of that sort of thing?
As far as I know, and we've looked into this a couple of times, there is no limitation when it comes to just having an image, because stamps fall under the same kind of a designation as a pen. So it's right, as if it's a signature. So you can actually use it for that reason. It doesn't leave any it doesn't put any layers on the ball where it would impact the game. I mean, the layer is microscopically thin, so it doesn't have any impact on the gameplay.
And have you gotten into golf now that you've been into the business of it?
Well, so it's funny that you ask, right? Because I wasn't a golfer myself, but we go to golf shows, with my whole family. So truth be told, I'm so busy that I really almost have no time with this and running this business. It's just grown so much. But what's happened out of this endeavor is that my kids are now are taking lessons, because we've been going to so many golf shows. They've been exposed to it now for 10 years, and our life is engaging with golfers, going to golf shows and going to golf courses. So even though I don't do so much of it myself, my kids are now really enjoying it and taking lessons. So
you're gonna have to start taking to keep up with your kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now, give us an idea of when you came up with it. Now, you had an established company, so that must have made the creation of this and the whole marketing of it a little bit easier than somebody starting from scratch. But give us an idea about the time frame, how long once you got the idea, and how long did it take to come to fruition?
Sure. Yeah, I can talk about that. Yeah. So this was a time I was kind of in my mid-20s. I was working as an engineer for a kind of a corporate company, and so this stamp company that I mentioned to you for my uncle I happened to go to Poland to visit him, and he introduced me to it. So I ran the stamp company for about 4 years, and it was more of a side gig. It was just a little bit of extra revenue. It was quite nice, and that led me to get quite good with websites, with web advertising, but it still wasn't. It wasn't a sustainable full business. And once this whole thing with the stamp started, and we started thinking of that idea, it took about 2 years from concept to a first product to launch. And we actually launched the first one we launched is called the Easy Ball Stamp. So we actually have 3 products, and the Easy Ball Stamp was just a basic stamp that was not customizable. So that was our first product, and it's actually one of our best. And then from that, during the same time we worked on trying to get the custom product out. Mm-hmm. So it was in parallel. And once we had it on the website, we realized that there was such a bigger potential, because it was such a more unique product, and standard office stamps, which you can buy in any big box store. So all of a sudden, we had kind of a unique product in the market.
And of course now, as you said, you go to a number of these the merchandising shows, the golf shows. How did that all come about? Did you just contact? Did you know about these kind of things, or was it somebody tell you about it? How did that happen?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it was quite interesting. So we were selling some on the website for about 3 years, and we were getting quite a lot of business. And then we heard about these golf shows, but we never pictured kind of business to consumer sales as being effective.
Mm-hmm.
And so we planned it out. We just said, well, let's just try it. And the first one we went to was the Boston Golf Show. And we just couldn't believe we had one of the most popular booths in the entire show. And to be fair, like they keep inviting us over, and we have repeat orders, repeat clientele. They know us, and we've kind of built up, kind of our social media. They know us as a local business.
Mm-hmm.
But we've now expanded, and we do shows all over the mostly the East Coast, and now we're going out to kind of like Colorado and a couple other cities this year.
That's great, and it as I said, it's one of my favorite products that I found, because the size of it is so comfortable and it works so well. It's just incredible, and I urge everybody to pick one up. The custom, the stock logos that you have, where did you get the ideas from, and how difficult are they to produce?
Yeah, so that's a good question, right? So we have logos on our website that are designed for the custom stamps as well. So not only can you upload your own image and we digitalize it and make it a better stamp, but we have a choice of a couple hundred pre-made designs, and we've all designed them ourselves. And we've been doing this for so many years. We kind of know what people like, and we go to the shows, so they tell us, hey, I'd like this design, I'd like this kind of a shamrock, and we just built up our library of things that people actually do enjoy. So it still gives you an option to pick, which makes it easier. You can combine it with initials, or you can upload your own, right? So it always gives you that to be completely unique. And for the stock products, we have about 40 designs, and they've changed over the years as we figured out what people like as well. And it also depends what region. For example, down in Florida, people like alligators. In Boston, the shamrock, as you can imagine, right? So we went through a bunch of different designs, added new colors, new products, and we have quite a big selection now of graphics as part of our business.
So you try to almost put it towards a region to get an idea of what would sell in that region then?
Absolutely. Like in Pittsburgh, let's just say, the penguins. So we sell a ton of penguins in Pittsburgh and other places. So all depends on the region, right? So
could you do logos and things of teams, or is it cost prohibitive because of the licensing fees?
So it's really difficult to do that. We've tried. It's cost prohibitive. We're kind of working on it, but the issue is because it's a stamp and it's a single color, they're less likely to want us to do that because they want to preserve their full color image. So that's the biggest thing. But we can do. We do have rights to certain logos. Not so much in the NBA and in the pro sports teams.
And college, is that it's the same kind of thing?
Yeah, the colleges.
Yeah.
We'd love to. I mean, it's great business, and we'll still think of trying to get there. But it's kind of the next step if we can get there.
Yeah. Well, one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've had a big step now with this product, and it seems to be very successful and doing very well for you.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
And is there any other products that you're thinking of branching out to now that you've been exposed to this area?
Well, that's a good question. We have a couple of things in the works. We're actually working on a new stamp that's even larger. That's going to cover almost a half a ball for very, very unique applications. Right now, the biggest one we have is about an inch in diameter, which is quite big. But we're working on a next generation product too. So that's the next step, and we're also looking at some very unique markers using our specialized ink, which I think are going to be quite useful for people who just want to sign by hand.
Oh, that's a great idea. See, there's one thing, and it goes to all kinds of other things. So you mentioned about the merchandising shows. Any lined up for 2019?
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely going to be in a couple. We're going to be in Boston, as I said. We're going to do the Michigan show, Colorado. We're likely to go to Chicago. Uh, in the towards the middle of the year, there's a couple in the Carolinas that we're going to go to, and potentially we're eyeing Florida this year. And also we'll be in Cleveland, Philadelphia, a couple others. I have a whole list on my website. I can't recall all the list right now.
So people are interested in running into you and talking to you and picking up a stock logo product, they can do that right at a merchandising show?
Right, absolutely, and we heavily discount them for direct to consumers. So quite often people seek us out for that reason, because you can get a pretty good deal when you see us in person. So
now, do you find a lot of clubs or pro shops carrying it, at least for the stock logo ones? Do they seem to be interested in carrying it?
Yeah, we're in about a couple hundred pro shops. We have a couple people who are just helping us distribute. So we do have product. It's mostly catered towards the stock image stamp, the Easy Ball stamp.
Mm-hmm.
So we have it in a lot of stores. And that one is much better much easier to do at retail, to sell at retail.
Right.
And it's also what we found is there's a big use for it for people who are doing tournaments. So we get a lot of business for people who organize it, because it's actually at bulk price. We can offer it quite attractively for events for 75, 100, 200 people.
Mm-hmm. Well, Luke, like I said, this is a terrific product, and I enjoy using it. And why don't you tell the people where they can, besides the pro shops and
Sure.
some stores, tell us your website and how people can go about ordering either a stock or a personal My Ball stamp.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. So our website is www.myballstamp.com. And you can order right on the website. You can design your stamps on the website. You can call us on the number on the website, or by email. So we can work any way. And frankly, it's pretty easy to order with us.
And you can upload your own logo if you're a business, and it just works great.
That's correct.
Well, Luke, I want to thank you so much for taking. I know you traveled and. You're home now, and I want to thank you for taking some time away from the family to join us this evening.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Sponsor an ad on the podcast. Support our show and let people know about your business. Email us today.
Now it's time to do the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar. Oh, hooray, let's sing the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar.
And there's not too much on the calendar. As you know, we're getting into the silly season, and there probably will be a couple of made-for-TV events, and one such thing will be this weekend. It is the PNC Father-Son Challenge. I think John Daly's going to be there with his son, and a bunch of other of your favorite golfers will be there playing with their son. So check it out. It looks like a fun event. And on the European Tour, the Alfred Dunhill Championship will be taking place in Malilane, South Africa, and that's a regular tour event for them. The PGA Tour has no scheduled regular events, official events, sanctioned events, until January 7th. So it's going to be a while before we have any PGA events, but we'll check out these other events that are going on. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank my guest, Luke Glinski, once again. And myballstamp.com is the company, and go pick it up. They make a terrific product. I have two now. I have two. and I enjoy it. They work great. They use great ink. It's really terrific. So go check out their site, myballstamp.com. Still chance to get something for Christmas, and don't forget to fix your divot. Too, Brian Stoya, look up the interview. He had a great product as well as T-Chlor, tchlor.com. Another great product you may want to use. And, of course, Squared Up, last week's show with Randy Bowman. Makes a great little gadget there to improve your golf game. And who did I say? Guaranteed Golf. Another great idea. Simple, but right to the point, and it works. And it works great. So check out all of these, and check out Bradley Putters as well. We will be back next week. Got a show for next week, so be sure to tune in for that. And I want to thank you all for listening tonight. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, wherever you listen or watch the podcast. Hit the subscribe button. That helps me grow the show and expand to new listeners. And until next time, remember, as you walk down the fairway of life, you must smell the roses, where you only get to play one round. Have a great week, everybody. I'll see you next Monday. Good night.